Welcome into the DGD Podcast. Guys, we have an absolutely loaded show. Obviously, you know the show's brought
What's
to you by
going
our
on,
friends over
Rob?
at Alumni Hall. Oh, Keon, Dan in the building. Look like we're about to take a training call here. This podcast might be recorded for training and quality purposes. If you're listening on audio, I'm sorry, but you might need to tune in on a video for understanding purposes on that. With that being said, gentlemen, hope y'all are having a great day, evening. How are y'all doing?
Well, I'm doing great, man. Solid day today. Just ready to talk some Georgia football. Dan, I mean, I
I
appreciate you for coming in, man. You got the customer service hat or headset. You know,
listen.
he's
I'm
got tech support. He's coming in clutch.
listen. I'm about to start my second work day of the day. So I worked all day, went home, took like a 2-hour nap, came right back to work, and I'm working till like 8 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, this is a good little break for me, and then I get right back to work.
There you go. There you go. Always working, always grinding. Guys, we had a busy Saturday, right? We had first scrimmage of fall camp, and it sounded like there were some interesting things that came out of that, right? Also, Jonte Gilbert commits to Georgia. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but I do want to bring up scrimmage one. Let's get through with this. Let's talk about that, recap it real fast, because there's a even more important scrimmage this upcoming Saturday that's got a ton of impact for the season. But first things first, let's talk about this first scrimmage. Main thing for me was my takeaway was the defense dominated Saturday.
Mm.
To me, that's not a big surprise, if you will, considering the timing of where we are. And honestly, that's a good thing. I think that obviously it's a good or bad thing, however you want to look at it, right? Depending on whether you're a glass half full, glass half empty type person. But yeah, defense dominating. Is that so? I mean, does that surprise y'all, or am I just by myself?
For me, it surprises me a little bit because usually those scrimmages are structured in such a way that the defense is kind of held back a little bit, where they're not allowed to be as fast and physical as they want to be, where the offense usually has the upper hand because it's hard to explain, but most of the time, a lot of times, scrimmages are set up for the offense to be successful because defense just can't let it go. So for the defense to absolutely dominate, that's a little bit crazy to me, but maybe not to you guys. And like you said, the defense being really, really good is not shocking when it comes to Georgia, but it's a good sign.
Yeah, Keon, what do you got, man?
Yeah, it's not a surprise to me. Really happy to see or to hear that the defense went out there and was able to dominate. I think that does kind of help us as far as getting ready for the season because, as we know, our defense is going to jump out. So, really excited to see what this upcoming scrimmage looks like, and of course, we'll be back here ready to talk it all.
Yeah, I think one thing that I do want to bring up with the defense dominating, it does seem like the offense has kind of been somewhat vanilla to this point. And I'm not necessarily saying that's a bad thing, right? Because the way it seems to me from an offensive identity is, instead of just sitting there and finding players into the system, I think you look at a situation where you have you're finding out who's the playmakers, and then you're operating the offense and designing the offense around those people, right? Those playmakers. I genuinely think that's a good thing, right? Because if you don't design winners for people, right? Like say Dylan Bell, if you don't design winners, but he's still winning, that's somebody that you need to set up the offense around. Same thing could go with Dom Lovett, right? Same thing with ETN. I think that might be a situation what's going on. And if that's the case, I think it's going to make for a more dynamic offense as the season progresses.
I definitely agree.
That's
I
my
mean, I think how the offense performed in the midst of trying to keep it vanilla is also telling too. Being able to see, what were things were we able to get by with offensively can also help us when it comes to going down the latter stretch of the more difficult side of our schedule. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this scrimmage is going to go. I do think there's a lot of positives to take away.
Absolutely. I see we got – go ahead, Dan.
I was just going to say, like, the fact that the offense may or may not be electric right now doesn't concern me, not even one little bit, because we know that Carson was extremely, extremely efficient last year, and he didn't really have the keys to the car. He's got the keys to the car now. He knows the entire offense. He knows the checkdowns. He can do what he wants to do. Like, they are going to let him fly this year.
Now, the question is, how much gas has it got in it?
Oh, I think that thing is full, baby.
Oh, yeah.
I like it. Yeah, we got some. Oh, the brigade is already popping off. Is that the Bingo Bros here? JOGG, Bishop Don, motherfucking Juan. Utah is trash. Okay, we know this. If you don't know,
you have to deal with that.
See what you did there.
We're bringing that back this season. The season's here, boys. The season is here.
So Bishop is also saying he'll be at the scrimmage on Saturday. And also Dan, the motherfucking man. Already coming in hot. I'm glad it's during the day because, probably after 8 o'clock, Bishop Don's probably getting ready for bed, old ass.
Real quick, this is not a commercial, but this has to be the best Georgia case you could possibly find for some AirPods. And it's Dawgs all the way around. I love it. Amazon.
I mean, I do too, and I am not even mine.
Yeah.
Can't be mad about that.
What up? Like, hook a family up.
Yeah, I'm saying.
I think another thing, I do want to get back on this scrimmage, though. Obviously, we talked about the defense dominating the day, but at the same time, there was I think, almost unanimous MVP Saturday, and you might not think who it is, but if you've heard of it, Nate Frazier being MVP of Saturday, how surprising is that for you? I know I'm excited, but I was kind of shocked to hear that. Slightly shocked, I should say. What about y'all?
I'm going to be honest with you, man. I am so excited for the season to start, but really I can't wait to see Nate Frazier out there. Of course, getting reps in. It is going to be a hell of an experience. I'm so happy he's a part of the team. I'm happy he was in the class because this guy is absolutely electric.
Yeah, I think Dale McGee gave us a very nice parting gift, if you will. Can't be mad about that.
I've heard so many good things about that kid. I can't wait to see him for myself. I mean, that's just one of those things where, I'm not comparing the two. I'm just saying, if you remember when Gurley was there, they were like, wait till you see this kid on the field, because Gurley wasn't the highest rated back in that class, if you remember. I mean, Keith Marshall was the number 1 overall back in that class, and Gurley was number 6. But all the talk coming out of camp was, wait till you see this guy, wait till you see this guy, wait till you see this guy. I was at the very first game of that season. It was at home, and I can't remember who it was against. It was against a nobody. But he takes the opening kickoff back for a touchdown. I mean, that's –
oh, man, I remember that, though. It was like first time he touched the ball, basically.
I was standing in the corner of the end zone with one of my friends, and he just runs right at us. And I was like, oh, my God, he's going to score. And that was my introduction to Todd Gurley, and he will forever be my favorite. But
Tarboro legend.
The whole point of it is that's the kind of buzz that I've been hearing from people about Nate Frazier. It may be not 100% to the level of Gurley, because Gurley was almost like a legend before you saw him. But he's been impressing a lot of different people from what I've heard.
Yeah, no, 100%. I'm excited. I'm excited to see him in the season. I think with how impressive a summer and fall camp that he's had, I think you could see him easily get some rotation into that running back room. Now the question is how much, which to save it for later. We'll talk about that too. I guess there's a question in the chat here. Does Dan work for ADT Security?
No. I knew I shouldn't have put this damn thing on. I just found it in the desk. I put it on. I have to work nights tonight, Juan, because we are painting the corporate office, and I have to sit in here, and I'm in my boss's office, and I put his headset on. So,
ooh. And also
take your feet up.
No, I'm not doing that. There's probably cameras in here somewhere.
Oh boy. Okay, so we're already seeing shots being called here. Shots are fired in the chat already. Talking about Joe calling out JOGG being garbage. I know why he said it. but he said it. That's the thing. They're coming a little bit hot tonight. I'm just going to leave that there. Let's do this. Let's get back on topic here. GOWG and Don, you get them together. It is comedy for those that don't know. Anyways, let's moving on to the second scrimmage. I want to talk more about the second scrimmage because this is the big one, right? This is the most important one because after Saturday, you turn and you look and you prep for Clemson. Right? That means the season is here. So let's do this. Let's preview what we think. Anybody want to make a prediction or bold take for Saturday? Anybody want to start off?
Are you talking about for the scrimmage, or are you talking about?
Let's make some predictions and then we'll talk it out.
Nate Frazier goes crazy. We're going to look at probably about 2, potentially 3 touchdowns. So I got it there. Gonna see Arian for a deep ball. I got that one. I'll stamp it with that one. Arian.
You got Arian with a deep shot.
Mm-hmm.
Do y'all want? I just thought about something from scrimmage 1. Do we want to do a quick injury assessment on that, or do we want to wait until after? How do y'all want to go about that?
Let's go ahead and do it.
Okay. Well, I think the main one for me is Roderick Robinson in a boot, and it sounds like it's a toe injury. Now the question is, right? We don't know how severe it is.
Heard it.
But yeah, I've heard of that as well. Typically, those things kind of linger as well.
Turf toe is not good. And
no,
most people don't actually understand what it is. It's your big toe. What happens is you get bent back like this, like over the top, and it's that middle, it's that knuckle of your big toe, and it's that torn ligament right there. And those things can pretty much end the season. And sometimes they just don't go away. I mean, I know guys that are in their 40s now, their toes look absolutely disgusting from having turf toe because, a lot of people back in my age played in that concrete turf. Juan knows what I'm talking about, the old George Dome, that concrete turf. Man, turf toe is real. And if that's what it is, I don't think they've actually said it's turf toe, right? They just said it's a toe injury.
Yeah, I don't think they've really said anything about it. I think it's speculation, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't really know.
Yeah, but turf toe is nasty, and it could be one of those things where you're out for a week or two, or it could be one of those things where you're done for the whole year. And people laugh when you say, "Oh, you can't run because your toe is hurt." Okay, well, wait till it happens to you. You can't put any weight on it.
Yeah. So Juan also says that Puglisi has fallen by the wayside. Do y'all agree with that or no?
I haven't heard a word.
No. I mean, you got to understand. Did he not recently just get over surgery? Like, I think he was.
I think he was coming into the summer kind of behind from an injury or something, getting cleaned up or something like that. Maybe. I think for what it is right now, I think you look at a situation where just getting acclimated as a freshman, right? Like, if you're contemplating him playing time, unless it's like a TCU situation, I think you're nervous at that point. For what it's worth, I think you're looking at a situation where Carson is the obvious guy. There's no question about that. But then from the sounds of things, right, you're looking at Gunnar Stockton as being quarterback 2 while Rashada gets acclimated, which at the same time, I'd like to see both of them kind of get some run and let that battle out. Maybe Saturday, right? Which kind of leads me to this question. Or back to scrimmage 2, I should say. I think Rashada might have a day. It's just my prediction. Yeah. I'm going to make a bold take. I think he can have himself a very nice day. I think that'd be beneficial because that means that he's understanding the playbook, getting more acclimated into the system, things like that, right? They can go a long way. And really, you just want that quarterback depth. A lot of people don't really think about it until it happens. But at the same time, if there is an instance where Carson does go down, you're looking at Gunnar Stockton, you're looking at Jaden Rashada. I don't necessarily know if you look at Puglisi just because of the inexperience. Because keep in mind, he did come from Arizona State, and he did play. So there is some college experience, and I think that matters in a backup management situation. So I need Gunner or Rashada to have a day. I'm gonna say Rashada.
Me
But
too.
that's just me.
I'm gonna go with you there.
That's just me. Dan, do you have anything?
I want to know what the offensive line is going to look like, because if Wilson is not able to participate on Saturday, and if Ratledge is moving over to center, like, what does that do to the offensive line? I mean, that's obviously very important. Having a great center has been something that Georgia has been blessed with for quite a while now, because we've had really, really, really good play at center. And I'm not saying Tate can't do that. I'm just saying that's not what he's great at. And I want to hear that Wilson is back at center and everybody's playing where they're supposed to. I haven't really been plugged in this week. It's been a really hectic week for me, so I don't know how that sits. I just know that was weighing heavily on my mind after the first scrimmage. And then, like you said, one of the two quarterbacks, the backup role, step up and just make everybody feel comfortable that if something were to happen, God forbid, to Carson, that somebody can at least get you through the week and into the next week where you can start game planning with a new quarterback. But it's one of those things where a quarterback has to perform in such a way that his coach has confidence knowing that he can put you in the game and he can call what he needs to call to get through the game, right? And, that's one of the things that makes a great backup quarterback is it's going to be very hard for, in most circumstances, the quarterback 2 to be as good as quarterback 1. There's a reason the quarterback 1 is quarterback 1, right? But you need to be able to survive at least a week or two until somebody gets back, right? And one of those two guys has to prove, and I think to your point, Rashada is in a better position because he's already started and he's already played. He's got tape.
Right.
The Kirby can see that.
Yeah, I was going to say, you do have tape on that, yeah.
Gunner has been working his butt off from all indications at Georgia and doing a great job, and everybody's really happy, but one of them has game tape and one of them doesn't, and that's a big thing.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is, getting caught up, and that kind of wants me to transition over to another position, and that's Colby Young at receiver. I want to hear good things out of that position group and Colby Young specifically. And I think the impact for me is if he does have a good scrimmage, right? He seems to have had a good fall camp so far. He seems to have had a good summer since he's been at Georgia. Now the question is, ever since the rah-rah situation, now you're looking to see who's going to be that guy over at the X. And what it seems like now, Dylan Bell is going to be that guy. And I think the plan is to make sure, keep him there until someone's able to step up. You see what I'm saying? So with that being said, I think you need Colby Young at this point to step up, which will push, if all things considered, if you put him into the X role, you feel comfortable, that allows Dylan Bell to go back to his more versatile position. And I think that will greatly impact the offense for the entirety of the season.
I see this comment down here. It's Sal, right?
Saul
looking for some hot takes.
Better call Saul.
Yeah, I mean, what are you talking about for the scrimmage? You're looking for some hot takes. You're looking for some hot takes over the season. Let's get a little idea there. Let us know.
We'll see. But no, any kind of other predictions, ball takes? I think another thing that I'm interested to see, this isn't a prediction or anything like that, but I am curious to see the injuries that we've heard with Jared Wilson, with even kind of sitting out KJ at a practice. I think, just making sure those guys are good. And some of that seems precautionary, right? It is I'm going to try to, I have to do this, but when you look around the college football world and the landscape, you're looking at several other teams with key players going down for season-ending injuries. And to me, that kind of is concerning. But at the same time, this is why Georgia is built the way they are, to sustain. So you don't want those things to happen. But at the same time, if you can let people rest and do that, I think you do that. However, when you look at Jared Wilson, when you look at KJ Bolden, they kind of need those reps. Yeah. So you walk this fine line because you don't want to lose them and make things worse. However, they are losing out on reps, which is why you're seeing Tate at center. And I think that's actually a good thing because that does have some ramifications on the depth of the offensive line and in that rotation, right? You can be seeing more Michael Morris at maybe at left guard or right guard, excuse me, right? We know he's an NFL player. But if you're getting your best 5 on the field, there you go. So I think you look at these injuries. I mean, and like I said with KJ needs those reps, right? Dan Jackson's had enough game time to know what's going on. He don't need the reps as much. KJ, on the other hand, does. Ja'Cory Thomas does. If you need him to play at safety, Jake Pope, good as well. So we'll see how that plays out. I'm curious. That's something I will be looking for Saturday. What about y'all?
Depth. I just want to see. That's one of the things that we could take away from Kirby's press conference this week is he's concerned about depth. And like on our show, I talked about that particular comment where I think it's a twofold. I'm not trying to sit on the fence, but I think it's really both. I think it's one is trying to motivating your guys to compete and to be better, because I think it's very hard to get young guys to compete at an extremely high level every single day. And that might be part of it. And then the other part of it is, how could you not be a little bit lighter in depth when you've put like almost 30 guys in the NFL in the last 3 years or whatever it is? Just a ridiculous amount of people into the NFL. How could you not lose depth, right? I know they've recruited at an extremely high level, but at the same time, guys have to play and have to grow up really, really fast. So, to me, I don't think that there's a lack of talent there. I just think it's a lack of experience. And I think it's, I think that was Kirby's way of telling the guys who are second string, third string, that they need to step up their level of production at practice and learn to compete at a higher level. That was my takeaway. I don't really feel like he meant, oh my God, we can't compete because we're not good enough. I don't believe that.
Yeah, I think that is more of a kind of a Kirbyism, and what you're talking to was the press conference, right? Where I think national media kind of took with it too. Kind of put that as a situation of if he feels like it's deteriorating, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes and no. I mean, the crazy you hear that, but at the same time, when you look at what Georgia's built. From a recruiting standpoint, there's no question that is an insane 3 deep. The roster, like for most positions, are insanely stacked. Right now, at the same time, you have to look at from a development standpoint. It's a constant, revolving door potentially too. Right, like you said, draft, transfer portal, both of those. So I can see how it can be concerning and it's stressful. You have to imagine that's the case. But at the same time, listen, Georgia, if anybody, is prepped to handle that kind of attrition, if you will.
Yeah, I do think with the way how we've been recruiting, it has helped us in that sense. So I'm just really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the season. I do feel like, I don't know, man. I feel like during this time frame, Kirby goes up and speaks, and I feel like there's times where he lays it on a little thicker than what it actually is, to be all the way honest. That might just be me.
Nope.
Yet again,
I agree.
But I get it. You're concerned with depth. I get that. But it's like also one of those ones where you've really been out recruiting the whole country now for damn near the last 2 years. Which
I don't think he's.
Here's the thing. It made me panic.
I don't think he's been out of the top 3, but maybe one year he went 4th at worst.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, if you think about, like, if he's coming out here and saying this, it made me panic, and then immediately I started laughing because I'm like, if Kirby Smart is feeling this way, the rest of the country, the rest of the country, as we're seeing guys continuously, be sidelined with injuries and then being taken out. Like there's guys that are missing the entire season from some of these other teams, and I'm just like, God.
You nailed it, Keon. You absolutely freaking hammered that.
Yeah.
If Kirby can't win with what he's got, what in the hell is Nebraska about to do? Okay?
Right.
I mean, you got these other teams that haven't even been close to the top 5 every single year. And if Kirby can't plug and replace, then nobody can. Because
nobody can.
They've been recruiting at an extremely high level. And even if the level of talent on his roster isn't what it was the last 3 years, it's still better than everybody else's.
Yeah. And then you also got to think, like, we've been taking big-ass classes these past couple of years.
Facts.
So, and then going into the portal on top of that. So it's like, if Kirby is having the conversation about depth, and oh man, I don't know if the roster is gonna be, then I'm looking at teams like Florida like shit. If somebody sneezes too hard, that's 4 losses right there.
Start sounding
Like
like Ezel. Ah, my neck,
my neck,
my
my
back,
back,
my
my
neck,
neck,
and
and
my
my
back.
back.
Hey, not off topic, but like you just mentioned Florida, and it just made me think of it. Florida might lose 7 games this year. I looked at their schedule.
Dude,
That's
I'm
crazy.
telling. So look, we're gonna do what is it? We're gonna do the bold predictions for the season next week.
Something like that. We'll figure that out more specifically.
I have an extremely hot take on Florida's season and what I think is going to be the upset of the season.
I mean, hold on though.
Please come back.
Hold on though. So earlier, Saul was in here, needed some hot takes from Keon. Do you give him a little preview? Give him a little taste of it, or do we wait? See, how about this?
I'll give him one.
How about this? If he responds back in the chat, give him a hot take. If
All right,
not,
100%.
Keep it.
Yeah.
It's up to you. It's in your court now. Simple enough. Guys, I want to talk about this. I want to talk about the secondary, and I want to talk about specifically the cornerback too. I feel like most of us have gotten more comfortable with the fact that Everett is cornerback 1.
Mm-hmm.
Now the question for me is, it's kind of torn whether Julian Humphrey or Daniel Harris is going to be the second corner. And I think it's a good situation. It's not a bad situation because both of them are doing well. It's not like both of them are struggling, right? Let's do this. Each one of us will go and who do you think? I think Saturday is going to be a telltale for all intents and purposes.
Yes.
But if we had to sit right now on a Thursday, who do you think come Clemson is going to be CB2?
Julio. I got Humphrey.
Why do you think that?
Because he's a gamer, man. To be all the way honest, I think he's very much so instinctual. When it comes to being able to read the play and read the wide receiver. So I really lean towards him in that sense. Plus his speed, bro. I'm telling you, I don't know if y'all really know this, but this dude comes from a family of hellified, like hellacious athletes. Like, go do some research on John Boy Humphrey, and holy shit. I shit you not, bro. His dad was like Adrian Peterson in high school, coming out of Galveston. Like, no bullshit. No bullshit. So,
and the stink and the nasty beaches, right?
Bro, I'm trying to tell you. I'm rolling with Julio.
Dan, what do you think?
NCAA 25, Julio's a beast in that game. I mean, he picking off everything. So I'm just
Dude.
Go.
Dude, I went online. I'm so glad you mentioned that. I went online and played somebody who had Georgia. First play out the gate. I get on offense. I'm not going to tell you who I had because I took my alma mater, University of North Texas. Didn't expect who I was going against. Just picked Georgia. First play of the game. Julio pick 6. I get back on offense. Pick 6, Raylan Wilson. If the way how Georgia's defense is on this game, if they can even be remotely close to that, just, you know what I'm saying? If we get a similar transition, bro, we're gonna be hellacious.
I just hope we're not Georgia on the Sims, because every single time I've played a season with somebody else, like this last time, Georgia was 2-10, and they fired Kirby Smart the first year.
Dude.
This year.
NCAA hates us, to be all the way clear.
Oh, yeah.
Plus, they got Chaz. Also, they had Chaz Chambliss in coverage. You know what? We can move on.
Yeah, it's NCAA is about to take over the show.
So y'all made y'all's predictions. Give me a 6'2" corner, Daniel Harris. Give me that. I think for Clemson specifically, because if we translate some things from Clemson's spring game, genuinely think Daniel Harris is going to be the best suited for that. And it's because of his physicality, block shedding, and tackling. And I'm not saying that Julian can't do that. I just think that Clemson's going to try to do that a lot. And you want to make sure that you can't let them capitalize on missed tackles in space. Give me Daniel Harris. And I think his coverage skills are people that long, right? 6'2", that matters in coverage. And listen, Julian Humphrey can cover his ass off too. Seen it. And I've seen his willingness to come up and strike. Something about it just tells me Daniel Harris is going to just like start off and just pull away. And I think it happens Saturday. But I'm content either way. I just want to make that known for the record.
To be all the way honest, I think we got
because then you still got Ellis. You still got Ellis back there.
Yeah, I mean, you have two playmakers that are battling out for one position. I think we're going to be in a great spot regardless. So I'm very much so looking forward to it.
Let's ask this question. Oh, go ahead.
At the end of the day, we need them both to be successful because there's going to be reps for both of them. So it's not either or, in my opinion. It's, one can start and that's fine, but they're both going to play.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the star position. I think this is probably the best situation, and that's not hearing much about Jonel Aguero. I think that kind of the fact that you're not hearing much about him tells me that they're feeling confident in his ability to hold down the star position.
Bro, I'm gonna be all the way honest. And I say this just from like hearing about what he was just last year. If Jonel Aguero is our star, he's gonna hurt people. Like, I mean, when Kirby Smart has to pull you by the shoulder pads and be like, dude, chill the fuck out. Like, this is not a game, okay? This is Brock Bowers. Relax. We need him. Like, yeah, if you're hitting like that on a tight end, can you imagine being a wide receiver trying to catch a fade? Or
I mean, hell, I would say the screen. Y'all remember his freshman year at G-Day when he closed on the ball? Kirby was in mid conversation with one of the sideline reporters.
Wasn't that Anthony Evans?
No, I'm talking about he closed in and made the tackle behind the line of scrimmage. That was Aguero that did that.
No, but wasn't the wide receiver like it was?
It may have been. I just know he closed his closing speed was on full display as a freshman. And if honestly, if he's feeling more comfortable in the system, and right, we all know that, and I think everyone that listens understands by now that we've preached the fact the star position is the most important position on the defense.
Yeah.
If he's comfortable and he's learned what he needs to learn, and you're just letting him play, that is dangerous. Extremely dangerous for everyone else. And I'm all for it.
Yeah, I think the one thing that you have to really pay attention to with a lot of these guys in the secondary, and we know that getting on the field in Kirby's secondary is difficult to do, right? You have to be ready to roll on top of your game. If you watch the spring game, KJ Bolden didn't have a problem at all. You talking about closing on a ball carrier in the backfield? That was KJ Bolden that did that, and that man was on. I mean, he's adapting very quickly. He is a name that Kirby has brought up more than once in his pressers. Kirby doesn't typically talk about freshmen all that often in his press conferences. Malachi Starks, he did. He was kind of hesitant, and then all of a sudden he was like, oh, yeah, Malachi is the freaking truth. And you hear him bring up KJ Bolden multiple times, and I know he's not the star. But you're talking about guys in that secondary, and you're talking about that star position. But if you're also talking about just secondary in general, with Julio, getting an opportunity, Daniel Davis getting an opportunity, I just blanked. Is it Daniel Davis? Am I wrong? The other corner? Help me.
Daniel Harris.
Daniel Harris. I don't know why I kept saying Davis. And then KJ, like all of those guys in the secondary, like we haven't heard anybody say they're lost. They don't know what to do. And we have heard that in the past. I said all of that nonsense just to say that we haven't heard that from Kirby or any other coach this summer, that like guys in the secondary are struggling or having a hard time picking it up. Like we haven't heard that about Ellis. We haven't heard like, oh yeah, he's really talented, but he's learning and he's working on it. We haven't heard that. It's these guys are here and they're playing and they're prepared. And I think that's one of the things that we overlook when we talk about how good Kirby and his staff do recruiting. Not only are they getting high-level players like 5 stars that have traits all over the place, but they're smart players and they are adapting very quickly. It's given Georgia a lot of different options. And that's why I kind of like giggle and laugh a little bit when we talk about who's going to get this and who's going to get that, is because they've got so many freaking options in that secondary. I get excited more than I get nervous or start questioning things.
It does kind of give you that kind of feeling, that like, I wouldn't say a feeling of comfort more so than a feeling of just like a positive anxiety, if that makes it. It sounds like a contradiction. It sounds so much of a contradiction, but it's not in a negative way by any means. You're kind of giddy rather than you are kind of feeling nervous.
Can't wait to see him type of thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's like a kid at Christmas. Like, you know what I mean?
I really want to see Aguero because we heard so much about him, and then we didn't get to see a whole lot of him last year. But then this year, we've heard a lot of positive things about him. Like Keon said, he's destroying people, and that gets you like really excited. Is he the next one? Is he the next one?
Bro, for me, I'm scared for other people's safety. Like, bro, I don't think y'all understand. Like, his stature to like Brock Bowers, and then for Kirby to say all of that, to me, that's a powerful man running downhill at all times. Mm-hmm. Contact, immediate, brace for impact, crash land. Like, it is.
I'll tell you something else. It looks like Dan's talking up in a chat in like a customer service portal.
Damn it, we're back on that again.
Absolutely. I mean, it's focus. Can't even be mad about it.
I am.
Well, I tried to clean my cookies and it just didn't work. What do I do?
My oven won't turn on. Is it plugged in?
I
no.
hate you so much.
Oh shit!
That's called what we call the ID10T error. Simple enough. Anyways, I do. So, anyways, sorry, Dan. I'm not sorry. I want to ask you all a question about this freshman. Let's see. Let's talk about these freshmen. Who do y'all think is outside of Nate Frazier? We've talked about Nate Frazier. Which freshman do y'all think could have a standout Saturday for y'all, in y'all's opinion?
KJ Bolden.
If he's playing, or if he scrimmages.
Mm-hmm.
Dan, what about you?
A defensive player that could have a standout performance?
No, just a freshman.
Justin Williams.
You're tickling Keon's fancy with that name. He loves him some Justin Williams.
I have heard nothing but positive things about him as well.
When he gets on the field, shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's
give me a name. You know what? I want to talk about this freshman, but at the same time, I want to kind of transition as well into something different. Give me Joseph Jonah-Jonye.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm gonna do a two-parter. Jonye and Quintavious.
Yes.
Quintavious has been making a name for himself, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
The name.
It's a good name. That's a top-notch name.
Yeah. That is
top-notch name. Nah, are y'all surprised that Quintavious?
he's trying to go the all-name team, isn't he? He's just messing. He's trolling us right now. He's like, I got LaDasha at split end.
Bro. Hell of a name. Hell of a player.
Sure.
It works.
You know what? I mean, you're not wrong. I can't help it. We might have to do something like that where we come up with the all-name team, man. That'd be fun to do before the season starts. Harry mentions a good part before I transition to something else. He says a lot of new parts got to mesh. And I think he's right. I think you're starting to see a lot of different pieces coming in, right? Because those guys that did leave, right? And I think for what it's worth, the secondary and some in the defensive line, right? Which kind of transitions, to defensive line. I want Jamal Jarrett to have a good damn Saturday. Mm-hmm. I want to hear about that come Sunday or Saturday, whenever. I want to hear about that. It's not been bad news that we've heard outside of the Jordan Hall situation. I just want to hear interior D line just said, "Hey, they just fucking dominated, made hard to block, run stopping." Right? I want to hear that. I want to hear that.
100%.
Isn't Warren Brinson hurt?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I had to think about it for a second, but
then,
I think he's lingering. Something's lingering, maybe.
And then Jordan Hall's got 2 fractured legs.
Tibia stress fracture, I think it was.
Yeah, I mean, you talking about lack of depth. If you point to an area on the football team where that could actually bother us a little bit, defensive line would definitely be a top priority for
interior.
Yeah.
The nose and the 3 techs is my opinion where that's concerning. But at the same time, I think you look at this, and I want you to understand where I'm coming from. We have more bodies, quality bodies, more experienced bodies now than we did this time last year. Because last year that was a concern and that was a problem that we dealt with.
I don't think people outside of our fan base truly understand how battered we were this time last year.
It was bad. God, it was bad.
Like, you talk about getting ready to see premium Cash Money Records taking over from the 99s to the 2000s.
Bro, they're working with that. Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
sorry, you can't be doing that too much.
Bro, premium minutes. Minutes. We had to convert Dylan Bell and say, hey, you know that position you played in high school? You think you can do that again? They don't understand the hurt we went through.
It's one of my things. And Harry says we need that 0 who can get it done. Yeah, I mean, I think Jamal's going to be that 0. And this was why I said Jamal specifically to start. I think if he has success and he is hard to block, things like that, I'm not saying it's going to be vibes like 2021, but I think you're going to see some efficiency getting closer to that level. I'm telling you right now, I don't see a defense coming close to 2021 production and stuff like that again for a while. Not saying it can't. I'm just saying there were so many different pieces, the right blend of things. Listen, you gave up 10 points. You averaged 10 points a game given up. That's insane. So I'm not going to go to that level, but I will say having that 0 or having multiple guys. I mean, like, if you give me a Warren Brinson and Stackhouse, right? And they're healthy and able to rotate in a guy like McLeod, Jamal, or Jordan Hall, Kristen Miller, right? That's another name that I think we need to have. He seemed to come a long way this spring and into the summer. I want to see it materialize. You see what I'm saying? If you can get guys like McLeod and Kristen Miller, right? And then you've got Brinson, you've got Stackhouse, right? Like TID staying healthy. All those pieces, if we stay healthy, it's dangerous. And I don't see it. I don't see last year happening nearly as much, just simply because of the ability to rotate and stay fresh. And I think last year was a glaring example of what happens when you don't have that kind of depth. To which point, yes, we are spoiled. Harry, we are very spoiled.
What, like 12 guys, 12, 15 guys, like coming into it that were like injured? Like, it was a lot of them.
Yeah, because Jamal, last year, I know Jamal only got to play like 3 or 4 games as a freshman. Jordan Hall was a freshman. Christian Miller
Milton got hurt.
Oh, across the board, there was a bunch of injuries. Yeah. I mean, I was thinking more specifically D-line. I mean, you had several guys down, and you didn't have nearly the bodies. And if you had the bodies, they weren't ready, which is another crucial piece of the puzzle here. You're looking at a situation where you've got, like I said, Jamal, Jordan Hall, right? Those guys. A couple freshmen people might be forgetting. Jordan Thomas, Justin Green. I think those guys. So, yeah. Let's see. Lando says Shamari Earls injured the recruit. What happened there? Let us know what happened. They're playing. Oh, that's right. They're playing. So I think that's something to keep up with. But as a recruit, we'll see what kind of injury it is. But yeah, that's Georgia commit, if that is the case. Guys, we went a long time, and we haven't even brought up our sponsor except for the very beginning. Guys, game day is literally 16 days away, 15 depending on when you listen to this. Right. With that being said, there is no better way to get geared up for game day than going to Alumni Hall, whether that be online or in stores in Athens, Georgia. Guys, jerseys, shirts, all types of gear, book bags, back to school. Got kids? Get your stuff there. Use our website and actually go in stores. Go in stores on game day. Let them know that we sent you. Mention the show. Get 10% off your order. Do that. Also, look. Also, they're hooking everybody up. Game day giveaway, folks. Get an Alumni Hall gift card, $100. Just got to go on our Twitter account, enter right now through August 31st. Get you a chance to win $100. Get you geared up. It's easy money if you do it right. Dan looks bored. I'm sorry.
Sorry,
Let's see. So to be more clear here, Lando says he's not sure. Just seen him in the hospital on his Instagram. Oh, damn. So if that's the case, by the way, how's Mill Creek doing? I know you're tied with Mill Creek. How's that going?
We're about to find out tomorrow night, 7:30 at Lambert. We're going to find out how it's really going. We scrimmage Shiloh. It's tough to ascertain how good or how not good you are when you play Shiloh. We did pretty much whatever we wanted to, and I'm not trying to be that guy, but it was easy. But the season starts. The season starts on Friday night. This is a team that's lost one regular season game in the last 2 years. So that'll be a good test right there. Hey, replacing a lot of guys, a lot of D1 guys. So I'm interested to see how it plays out, and there won't be a bigger fan in the building than this guy right here.
Yeah, Keon, how's Texas? I know y'all are getting ready for Texas high school football too, right?
Yeah, Duncanville's probably going to win it again. But overall,
stupid team. Jesus Christ,
yeah, it's actually nuts.
You got Duncan, DeSoto. You around all those teams, right?
Yeah, not too far away.
Christ.
Then I'm gonna go. I'm gonna check out McKinney High for a little bit, see how they're going with Riley Pettijohn and Cam Pettijohn over there. So it's good football getting played out here in the DFW.
Yeah, is Katie any good at football?
They have players.
All right. You said enough.
Are they on your schedule?
No. We don't play Katy. But one of my good friends used to be a professional baseball player. He lives in Katy. He says the baseball is real good in that area. That's like a suburb of Houston, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah. Baseball, yeah. But
so I didn't know if they were any good at football.
No, they got players.
Listen, I'll tell you right now. I know y'all are in some talent-rich states, and in 2026, y'all are going to understand that North Carolina's on the come up there too.
Dude, my son is 2026, and I'm telling you that is a ridiculously loaded class.
Oh, period. Dude, we've had these discussions already. Dude, North Carolina in the state of 26 has already got like 4 or 5 stars, and I think you're going to see. And this was what's going to be fun is because you've got in week 1. I think my game of the week is going to be Grimsley and Tabor, Mount Tabor. So you're looking at Faison Brandon, Bryce Davis, right? And you're looking up them going against Snook Peterkin. I call him Snook. Or they call him Snook. But Shamarius Peterkin and Jadon Blair, Notre Dame commit. That's going to be a game. But
hey,
what's up?
Can I give you a name for the class of 2026 that you need to pay attention to? So
sure.
His name is DQ Forkpa. He is a linebacker, outside linebacker. His name is DQ, like Dairy Queen, DQ Forkpa. And he's an outside linebacker from Mill Creek. He got offered by Michigan today. He's a 4-star right now. He'll be a 5-star. He's built like a Greek god. He runs like the wind, and he hits like a freaking semi-truck. I'm telling you, he hasn't been a big camper, but he's starting to hit the camps. The big offers are coming in now. Kirby really paid attention to him, and Glenn Schumann paid attention to him when they were looking at Luke Metz. So he's 100% on Georgia's radar. I wouldn't be surprised if Georgia doesn't offer him in near future. But that is a name that you need to pay attention to because that boy can play some football.
Recently, this was what was exciting is we had a like you saw Grimsley and East Forsyth scrimmage. And for those that aren't familiar, East Forsyth has UNC commit Bryce Baker. So you got Faison versus Bryce Baker as a quarterback battle there, if you will. And I mean, it's a scrimmage, so I don't remember like all that. But dude, like I'm gonna give a shout out to a kid that I feel like is vastly underrated, and it's probably because of measurables. But at the same time, I've watched this kid too many times to know that this kid is underrated. Mitchell Summers. This is making play after play after play. Dude, just keeping up with Grimsley, man. Like, there's some 2026 kids that I'm excited to see. I think DJ Howerton, tight end / defensive end, looking at a guy that's already got SEC offers, Power 5, Power 4 offers, however you want to call it. I think you're primed with Faison there. Him, Caden Cato, guys, it's going to be fun to keep up with. They got a good schedule, man. It's tough non-conference. Watch out for Weddington, though. Shout out to Weddington folks down there, Butler. My Dawgs over at Butler, Coach Hawk, and the crew over there. It's going to be a fun year for high school football itself. I know state of Georgia is absolutely loaded, Dan, and obviously, hell, Keon's area alone is some of the probably most stacked talent in that area in the country with teams and all that stuff. So it's silly. So I'm sure throughout the season, if you're into high school, you'll hear about it. You'll continue to hear about it. You just have to.
We got a kid out here. His name is Booby Feaster. Holy shit. Wide receiver. I mean, you talking about the next great. Like, he's gonna be one of those ones. For sure.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna give a shout out to my guy Brody Keefe. I really wish Georgia would start looking his way. I think we need to. I think he's got a Georgia offer. I wish, obviously, I'd like to see him do next year. Kind of biased, but over at Myers Park, Rodney Dunham as well, Weddington with the Harris twins, Thomas Davis Jr. That team's about to be silly too. It's going to be insane. And then with Butler, Zach Lawrence, UMass commit. Watched him in 7-on-7. Kid's absolutely fucking balling. Dude, that Charlotte area is silly. It's going to be fun. Because then now you got Kendra. Your boy Kendra transfers to Providence Day. So now you got David Sanders and Kendra Harrison on the same squad.
Ooh.
So there you go. It's going to be interesting there. Their conferences, like, I mean, they play like Raven Gap, different things like that. Should handle business, I would think. But they get Leo Delaney as well. I think at this point, if you're not noticing, we're just listing off some names of some big-time recruits as well. So just name dropping folks that you probably need to do your due diligence on. Just leaving that there. Jeff Hightower in the building saying, "What up? What up?"
Yeah, some of these same people some of these same people we listed are dual sport athletes. Definitely when it comes to basketball season, definitely going to be tuned in.
Hold on. Fair. You said multi-sport athletes, and this triggered my brain. The D-boys over at Dudley, Lazarus Brown, cooking in them hurdles, man. Like in the 13s and the 110 hurdles. Silly shit, beating college kids. I was like, what? I'm expecting Dudley to have a track meet season again like they did last year. Shit was insane. Yeah, they put up Madden. Dude, y'all been in them games where you watch people just absolutely obliterate people, throw Madden style shit up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Dudley was doing that shit all year last year. I don't see it changing. I just don't. All right, let's kind of circle back one final time before Dan falls asleep on an IT call or anything like that. Guys, Scrimmage 2, like I said, it is the big deal. What's at stake? If you had to look at what's at stake Saturday, give me your one thing that you think the most at stake. What is the most at stake here?
Go ahead, Dan.
I was just going to say I guess the biggest thing at stake is who gets to go out on the field first, right? I think it's if there's any question of who the starter is, you'll earn it. But really, what's at stake for me, and this is, I mean, I know it's lame, but I always come back to this, is health. Health is always at stake. Like, obviously, I want a good, productive scrimmage, but at the end of the day, we have much bigger goals for the season than a scrimmage. I need everybody to stay healthy. And I know that's so lame, and everybody rolls their eyes when I say stuff like that. But to me, the biggest thing at stake is the health of our players.
Timeout.
Okay.
T-Mart. Timeout.
I just saw that picture that you just dropped in here, Dan. That is a grown-ass man.
That was him at 15 years old.
Jesus.
Do you see, Rob? Wait, I know we're doing a podcast. I get it. Just, please, just if you can, on your phone.
Like a fucking chiseled Adonis. What the fuck?
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
Yo.
God,
no, that's a monster.
He's a monster. I'm telling you.
Serious?
That's a monster.
Are you fucking serious?
Bro. That's.
Dude, nah, hell no. I ain't even going to do that. Tell the kids to look him up.
No, for real. Give them the name one more time just so everybody can.
His name is DQ, like Dairy Queen, DQ Forkbutt, Forkpa, Forkbutt. Look him up. Kid is an absolute monster. And he is going to be
chat for.
He is going to be on everybody's board. I'm telling you, he is an absolute monster.
Put that in the chat. Speaking of the chat, if you're in here, we got 100 people listening across the platforms, guys. Make sure to like, follow, subscribe. And if you listen on podcasts, by the way, didn't forget about you. Rate and review us, folks. Let us know. Season's coming in. Hey, ring that bell. Get all the notifications, right? Follow us. Get all the notifications on X, Facebook. We'll try to start doing on Facebook. But we need to see people on Facebook if that's the case. I want people in there, too. Make it worth our while to please y'all and give y'all the content that y'all want. But you got to be over there. You got to be showing it. Share this out there, man. Like, season's coming. There is no such thing as a damn off season here at the DGD podcast. Just not doing it. There's no such thing. Season's coming up. We're about to start doing 2 shows a week. All right. Looking for a Monday, Thursday. What kind of time to maybe talk show here? Monday, Thursday is what we're proposing. Obviously, you notice we've been doing Thursdays last couple of times, and that's helping with Dan there with Mill Creek and whatnot with his son and playing there at Mill Creek. So we're doing Monday, Thursdays. That's the plan. So same time, maybe even get Juan. It might have to do something during the day for Juan. Maybe early morning. I don't know. Maybe he could do it. Maybe he can swing it. We'll see. But definitely Monday, Thursday at this time, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 Central. That's the plan there. So make sure listen, we're trying to be transparent. Want to make sure that everyone understands. And then the podcast comes out shortly after. So we try to get it out that night. So that way you have immediate access to it. If you're sitting there, you can't watch it or whatever. Listen, best content is just us sitting here being silly on camera. But for those that listen to the podcast, if you're curious about something, you can always revert back, leaving it there. So Monday, Thursday, guys, it's about to be insane. We're having some good segments coming back. High tops over under since I saw him in the chat. So we're going to be having over-unders. We just dropped our DGD pick'em for week 0. That's in effect. Made some changes there. Letting little man here, Jaden, pick his own game of the week, folks. And he's picking for y'all in the brigade. But we made it worth your while. Because if he picks right, y'all get some good points. But to be fair, if we're taking this, listen, week 0, and this is I want to put it into perspective here. For those, this is about to make it interesting for us and the brigade. Game of the week was TCU and Stanford. Okay, got Florida State, Georgia Tech, good matchup. TCU, Stanford. And if I told you why, Dan, Keon, if I told you why he picked TCU, Stanford to be the game of the week, you'd probably lose it. Can you take a guess?
Because Ashton's playing in the football game?
No, because of TCU's Horned Frog.
Oh, well, he's a kid.
The logo. He's 6.
I love it. Cannon liked FAU Owls because they had a cool mascot when he was little.
I'm telling you right now, you might be surprised come week 1, if Maryland and UConn is the game of the week because my son is a turtle lover. And you're going to get Maryland as a pick. Foreshadowing. Okay. Leaving it there. Foreshadowing. You might listen. I'm telling you right now. Side note, and then we'll end the show. I was looking ahead to the schedule. By the way, this college season is about to be stupid. Love these games. There's a good game every week. Can you imagine? I want you to understand this. Mind of a 6-year-old putting a turtle for Maryland and a duck for Oregon.
Oh my God.
I'm doing it. I'm gonna put it there as an option.
You know what I think he picks? I think he might go with the duck.
The duck.
No shot.
Buddy loves turtles. Loves turtles. We'll see.
I love it.
We'll see. I don't know. We haven't gotten that far yet, but I was thinking about that. I was like, that would be fun to just throw it out there to see what he does.
Just to see what he does.
Hey, man, I'm telling you right now. Listen, and this is all in good fun. I wanted to kind of do something that gets him involved and make it fun and family friendly too. I think it'd be interesting.
You gotta tell him that the duck's name is Puddles.
Oh my God, he's gonna die.
He wouldn't care. He loves turtles. He don't care.
He
don't care.
I don't know.
I'm telling you right now.
Over under on Jaden picking Puddles.
See, the thing about it, I mean, we'll have to
you got to
figure
get
it out,
an adorable picture, though.
You've got to go on Oregon football's Instagram, and they have a collage of pictures where the duck, Puddles, went to every single Big Ten school.
Let me in. Oh, yeah.
And he's hanging on their gates, and he's upside down, and he's doing all this stuff. And they did a collage of him going to every single school in the offseason. He would totally pick the duck after seeing that picture.
Dude, you know what, though? I think I can't let him see the one when he went on Pat McAfee.
Oh, yeah.
What happened?
You guys seen it?
No. Oh, dude, it's hilarious.
Oh, he's on Pat McAfee, right? The Oregon Duck is on Pat McAfee. And he's like, talking about skeet shooting. He's like, you would rather have skeet shooting than duck hunting. And he was like, yeah, like that right there. He's like, he loves skeet. Skeet, motherfucker. I was like, no way. No way. Yeah,
hilarious.
Shut up. Listen, y'all can hate on Pat McAfee, but his show is hilarious, especially at times like that.
No, my favorite,
Pat McAfee.
Dude, Pat McAfee, when he had that little kid Owen call in,
yes. And fuck Boston. What?
You know what, Owen? You were inspiring me right now.
Yeah, that shit was epic. But no, so make sure. Listen, Keon, you want us to do a little quick preview of our returning segment?
Before we get into that, the football season is here.
Yes.
I just have a message, and if we could just zero in on me real quick, just for a few moments.
He would like to
just understand. Football season is here. To my friends, family, colleagues, every Saturday up until March is spoken for. Okay? Every Saturday. Okay? And then once we get into the playoff time, it's over with. Okay? It's over with. I just like Josh Payton, he stated, there's no one on earth that I love more than October 12th. And for me, there's nobody I love more than October 19th. That's just it. We're done. That's it. Football season's here.
Keon.
I'm booked.
Also, we get to debut this returning segment.
Your team is trash, and you have to deal with that. Get ready. Because guess what? Week 1, we're adding teams to that.
Sure. No, we can do this shit on week 0 too.
Listen, if y'all want. There will be teams making repeat appearances on that shit. If I have anything to say about it,
for sure.
Oh, we can make it happen for sure. And also, I want to bring this out here, guys. If you're not following us on Twitter at the DGD Podcast, do so, because what we're doing with the content on these, right, as early as Sunday morning, you're getting your picks for the week. And we're honestly thinking about it. And let us know in the comments. And let us know. Should we do the people's pick for your team is trash? And
Honestly,
what that means, I'm going to break it down. What that means is this. We will post up a graphic, what you just saw. And we will hashtag the people's pick. If we see the most commented one, that's the people's pick.
100%.
And we're going to and listen, on Monday's show, we're going to let the comment. So you need to come in and tune in because we're going to pop comments up and we're going to let the people, that means you, everybody listen, you shit on the people's pick for your team is trash along with
you
us.
and the people behind you.
We're going to do this collectively. Shit. If we get enough traction on that, Keon, we might post a link to the show so you can call in and shit talk on camera if you want to do it. Stand on business.
Yeah. See, I'm all the way for it, you know.
Because some of these people just got to understand, Keon, that their team is trash, and they had to deal with that. And listen,
see, that's
listen, and no team is spared. No team is spared. Because if Georgia lose, we'll be talking.
Yeah. See, here's the thing.
We've done it
when
before.
I created that phrase, it was to let the people. See, I'm a man of the people. I'm a man of the people.
Dan looks like
man of college. The children of college football, lend me your ear. Okay. Join me. Join Rob and Dan. Yes. The at work animal.
Yeah, let's roll.
Call in.
Definitely gorilla.
Definitely leave the comments so we can let people know that their team is trash and they have to deal with that. Don't feel bad because guess what? Repeat offenders, we're just going to go crazier and crazier on you each and every time. Looking at you, Florida.
Hey, let me ask you a question, Keon, because you said it is football season and it is here. This is the holiest time of the year. Is there anything
put that on a t-shirt?
Is there anything better than on a big Saturday? I'm talking about like where you have a loaded schedule, right? Roll out of bed, get something to eat for breakfast, start watching game day. First game kicks off at noon. Well, for us, noon. You for 11 o'clock. And you don't move your ass off the couch until after midnight because you get
9 to 2. I'll tell you this. Listen, I'm gonna tell you this right now. I'm actually kind of excited about this, but wake up and get my morning started. I got to do it because it's so cliche. Jittery Joe's. This is a free ad, by the way. Jittery Joe's Attack the Day. Just make it and have it ready. Sit there and sip my coffee. Keon, you know what I'm talking about. Just sip my coffee. Get my mind right. Right? Yeah. Get my mind right. Listen, throw the right jersey on. It's superstition. Superstition.
Every
right jersey. Got to have it ready. If you're home, got to be red. If you're away, got to be white. Got to be
white.
I can't rock a jersey. I do the sideline. I do the sideline polo. Whatever the new coach's polo, I buy it every year. I haven't bought it yet, by the way. I just realized that we're only like a week away. I might have done.
Yeah, you gotta express shipping.
Well, you need to go to Alumni Hall, sir. But yeah, just go to Athens, man. Just go to Athens. Go to Alumni Hall. Get 10% off.
Also,
get 10% off.
Dan, you were saying about like loading up to the season. Bless you. Just loading up when it comes to just sitting down and watching football all day. It's a great feeling. I can't wait. I got the fridge stacked up with Heineken, Dos Equis. Okay, I got the popcorns ready. All right. I'm inclined the first Saturday of week 1, I might just have to call in a pizza, might have to call in upstairs, get an audible, call a pizza in, get it delivered just so I don't have to leave the house. Because guess what? We already got the popcorn. We already got the beer. We already got the chips. We already got the limes. We already got the salt.
Dude, I'll get ribs on in the morning on the smoker. Nothing's just smoking all day long. I mean, because they don't need a lot of attention. Like, I'm not trying to make a brisket or something like that because that's just too much work. But I'll throw
you're talking to a Texan down there?
Yeah, man. Hey, listen, if you want a good brisket, you got to pay attention to that damn thing.
No, that's a fact.
But you can throw some ribs on there and just let them run. and you can just watch your football, and then in between games, maybe a little halftime, go out there, spritz them up a little bit, and before you wrap them and get them things right, and then you're eating, man. You're eating like right around that 3:30 kickoff when Georgia's about ready to take on Tennessee or something. Man, come on, there is not a better, especially when you get that crisp autumn air. Like I love summer. Don't get me wrong. I'm a summer guy, but when you get that crisp autumn air and you're out there on the smoker and you're hitting some ribs, come on, bro. Come on.
I'm gonna tell you this. My favorite thing about this time of the year is when the weather finally drops down to a good 80 degrees. Once we hit that 75, that 75 range, I'm in heaven.
Keon, hold on. Keon, check this out. This morning, 61 on my way to work.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah.
It was already 69 this morning.
Tomahawk Dog in the chat saying, good evening. Good afternoon. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening. I'll tell you this. I'm going to ask this question for the chat, but at the same time, quickly, last question before we wrap this thing up, because, well, we've been on here for a little bit. What is your prime game day food if you're not at a tailgate at the in Athens or anything like that? What's your go-to?
Game day food at home? Yeah. Oh, I'm telling you, it's ribs, man. For me, it's ribs. Like, and then like maybe I'm the minority, but I love a good potato salad. So I'll get my Southern style potato salad, my ribs, and my wife makes a cucumber salad, which is like cucumbers feta with like an Italian dressing, and you just let them marinate overnight. So fresh, man, that's my game day go-to. That's like my favorite thing to eat. My kids get sick and tired of ribs during football season. They're like, Dad, you making ribs again? Damn.
Yeah. For me, chicken quesadillas, chicken or steak quesadillas. Go with some chopped up cilantro, some onions in there. Throw a jalapeno or two in the mix. I usually try to get about 2 or 3 different cheeses in there. Ground beef as well if we're trying to really get frisky. Either way, that's how we run it. I call it the Texas tornado.
Man, got me thinking about tornadoes when I was in the military. Go to these little sausage, egg, and cheese, bacon, egg, and cheese things. Oh, buddy. Listen, mine's kind of like a finger food appetizer. It's like sausage dip, different things, like pigs and blankets and shit. Now, if I go to a friend's house, buddy, I'm talking burnt ends, mac and cheese, like full spread. But a lot of times it's just myself and family. So it's just like we'll do some finger foods and stuff like that. Like I said, sausage dip, crock pot meals.
Dude, and also I'm yet again, if I really don't want to cook at all, we're just gonna go with the pizza. We're gonna throw some chips, maybe some
Old Faithful
in there,
popcorn,
Dos Equis or Heineken, and wings.
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
I'll drink my Dr. Pepper.
And that is, and I'll have the spread for it all. So it's like I'm not leaving the house.
Oh, and let me ask you, and I eat that shit cold at the end of the day too. Like I'm not even worried about it. Like I'm snacking on it all day.
Yeah, we're not hitting the microwave.
No,
you just leave it out. Leave it out on the kitchen. Leave it out in the kitchen. Leave it out in the kitchen. Just pick at it.
Yeah.
Guys, that's been a good conversation. Let's wrap this thing up. Saturday scrimmage, big time ramifications on what's to come. Like I said, after Sunday, you're starting to see depth chart formations, getting ready for Clemson. Guys, that season is here. So do yourself a favor. Make sure to follow us at the DGD Podcast. Make sure while you're there, hit us up on Twitter. Make sure take advantage of the game day giveaway, folks. Using our main, it's our pinned tweet on social media. Do what it says. Get yourself a shot to win a Alumni Hall gift card, $100. Right? Get your jersey, partially pay for a jersey, or get your nice polo, Dan. Running now through the 31st. So do that. If you're in store, go to Athens, go to Alumni Hall, mention our show, get 10% off. If you don't, let us know. We'll get that squared away. Other than that, that is all we've got. Oh, wait a minute. We've got something in the chat. Climb out of bed and drive for some grub. Hey, listen, cookout runs are never a bad thing. I'll leave it there. But With that being said, though, guys, that's all we've got. Dan, Keon, good conversation. Guys, I think it's a good time to let people know 16 days till Georgia, Clemson, in Atlanta. Toe meets leather in 16 days. I know y'all are excited. I'm excited as fuck. I'm sure y'all are too. Let's call it a day. We'll catch y'all next time.